following is a presentation of MRE Uno, Division 1.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Jackpot June here in MRE Uno Division 1. We have had a long tournament here, 57 players walking into the MRE Uno Casino looking to win big and get their trip to Super League directly. But now we are down to our established 8 here, and we are going to be kicking things off here with the club's regional final. And it's going to be two people who really want to get this win here to make the Final Four, starting off with number 5 seed, who is Cesar, who has never really made a Final Four before and has wanted to make a run to put himself in a position where he can feel that he can do more and find himself going further into where he has expected himself in the past. He wants a big confidence booster here with a win here to make the Final Four. And then we have number 11 seed Aria Carmona, the first 11 seed to actually make a regional final in league history, as surprising as that is. But for anyone to do it, Aria is definitely someone capable of doing so. She had a great 2023 season, making 3 Final Fours in that season, but unfortunately 2025 has not quite been the way she was hoping for. However, this tournament has sparked some life back into her as she hopes to try and turn fates here and to make it back to the Final Four for the very first time since her magical 2023 season. She hopes to get the job done here tonight. This will be a good match to watch out for, as both are going to be vying for spots into the last 4 of this bracket. Now let's take a look at the matchup preview here. Again, number 5 seed Cesar and number 11 seed Aria. Both of these are in the master class, so this is master on master action. The record of this tournament, Aria has more wins, but also more losses. That is because Cesar had a DQ win in the round of 64. Steven ended up DQing, so Cesar only got 1 game win out of that. But a pretty good record for Cesar, 10-5, had an amazing comeback against Strip in the round of 32 to keep himself alive in the bracket, and now has finds himself in the established 8. Aria has been keeping it close in a lot of her games, but has been able to hang on and be the one that comes out on top. But I mean, the biggest difference here is you look at that career round of 8 record. Aria, a perfect 3-0 in this round. She has never lost in the round of 8 before. She is looking to make that 4-0, and then it's the opposite tale for Cesar, who was 0-3 in this round, has never made it past this round. Hoping to get it done on the 4th try, but we will see if he can do that. Then career accolades, Aria, 3 Final Fours. She got a 2nd in the first ever tournament, March Madness 2023, and a 3rd in T4 2023, and then also a 4th place in T5 2023, although that does not give you an accolade. And of course, Cesar never made a Final Four, so does not have any accolades at the moment. CPU prediction has Aria winning this one 5-3. We will see if that comes true. Aria looking to be the first 11th seed to make a Final Four after she was the first one to make a regional final. Let's take a look at the bracket here. We are down to 8, so everything is on here. All the games have been scheduled, so we have quite the packed rounds for you, and we are entering July 4th weekend, so we got 2 matches tonight, and then we have 1 more tomorrow, and then after July 4th we'll have another one on the 5th. Again, Cesar Aria coming up next, but later tonight at 11 p.m. This will be short and Superior going for some drives with some late night action. It's going to be Vapor versus myself. We'll see who gets the win there. I'm looking for my second Final Four of the season after winning Tournament 2. Vapor looking for his first Final Four in his career as well, similar to Cesar. And then for tomorrow at 9 p.m., we got Very Golden Brian. Brian going on the Cinderella run. We've seen at least one player in every tournament go on a massive Cinderella run, and it seems Brian has been the one chosen this tournament. He has never made it to the regional finals before. He is hoping to make his first Final Four while taking on Gold, who is looking to revitalize their career after a very disappointing 2024. They have really found their groove in the last two tournaments here, so they are hoping to make it to the Final Four for the second tournament in a row, I believe. We'll see if they can get that done. That'll be an interesting match to watch out for. And then to wrap up the round on Saturday, number 8 seed background character, the second rookie of the season to make it to the established 8. Background hopes to be the second rookie to make the Final Four, following in pursuit of Gone after he did so in Tournament 2. Taking on Toaster Guy, who has had a pretty good season so far, has racked up the wins. He is hoping he can make it to the Final Four and get some more establish himself more in the field, as he hopes to make it to Super League for the second straight season. All right, we'll take a look here at the stream. I am joined by my co-commentator, Charles Sanford. It has been a while since we have done co-commentary together, but great to have you here, Sanford. This is a match between two players who are very experienced in this league. Cesar came in Tournament 3 of 2023 and has played ever since. Aria came in since the first tournament, unfortunately missed 2024, but has a lot of experience with Uno. So this is going to be a very experience-heavy matchup. What's your general thoughts going into this one on what you expect from both players, and is there anything you think will happen that based off how their styles end up clashing?
Yeah, it's a very interesting matchup to get at this point. As not many of our viewers would know, these are two players who have played each other before. In fact, this is a matchup that, when we're making the bracket, is blacklisted, meaning that we try and avoid it. It just so happens that that they end up in the same region, they end up in the Elite Eight, which is basically the earliest that we're okay with a blacklisted game even happening. So it's one of those details that means that this could be a very intriguing one. I know that the reason why it's blacklisted is more of a personal matter on Cesar's side, so I'm expecting Aria to probably have an upper hand, at least mentality-wise, in this one, and we'll have to see how that plays out on the table.
All right, both our players will Caesar's going to be joining the VC soon, hopefully, but both players will answer through text for now. For Caesar, we have both questions here. They'll answer it when they can. But for Caesar, you've mentioned in the past you've been eyeing for a good run to boost the confidence as you try to fight for a spot in Super League, but now you're one match away from potentially your first Final Four. What is the feeling heading to this match going up against a seasoned vet in the league like Aria as you try to get the result for your best showing thus far in your career? And then for Aria, it's been a bit of a down season entering this tournament, but you seem to found your groove this run and look to make it back to the Final Four for the first time since your great 2023 season. What's the expectation heading into tonight as you look to find yourself in your fourth career Final Four appearance? And both of them are typing in the chat, so we'll see what they have to say on this in a second. But yeah, this is despite this being a blacklisted matchup, I've been looking forward to this one out of the list. I mean, again, we'll go back to the bracket here. A lot of interesting matchups here. I mean, this entire right side is 2023 veterans Sanford as well. I mean, Cesar, Aria here in clubs region. Then you look at Diamonds region, myself and Vapor. I mean, it's a full 2023 side. And then you compare it to the other side of the bracket. I mean, you have another 2023 matchup in Spades. But then Hearts has a I wouldn't say a full new kid on the block vibe, but I mean these are both players who joined the league in 2024. One of them started in D1, one of them started in D2 with Toaster background. I mean, your thoughts here, as this is a very 2023 experience heavy final 8.
Yeah, we've definitely been looking for when would that happen, although I'm willing to bet that that moment where we would have thought that it would have been 2023 heavy, it wouldn't have been these names necessarily. But that just speaks volumes to where the field's at, I think, right now. And it is nice to have a tournament where it's the experience is winning out on top as opposed to maybe more just craziness.
That is true. I mean, we do have a crazy run with Brian here. We'll have to see how that one develops. That one will be at 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. But for now, Cesar and Aria will duke it out. But we have the answers here. We'll start with Aria. I think the expectation is to win, of course. That's what it's all about. We've been on a run of good form, of course, and I think we have the means, the motive, and woman power to get it done tonight. So we'll give everyone a show and keep it pushing. As Cesar joins the VC now, we'll read off his quote. Feeling good. I think I got a good thing going on with the run right now, but both times I faced Aria ended in pretty bad fashion, so I have a lot to prove here tonight, and it starts with being someone who's beating me badly twice. That is true because Cesar and Aria did play twice in the 2023 season, and unfortunately for Cesar, currently 0-2 in the head-to-head matchup. But so, I mean, Sanford, your thoughts on how that might affect this match going in on both sides, with Aria knowing she has the advantage over Cesar, and Cesar looking to make third time's the charm.
Well, and it goes to what I was mentioning before, basically. Like, this is a matchup that we've seen happen. We try to avoid having it happen. Um, and I think for Caesar's side, it definitely does present an interesting conundrum of how does he go into this mindset wise, because at least away from the table, he's definitely spoken about not being confident when it comes to Arya and the style that she plays. So I think from that aspect, Arya definitely does have an advantage. Has Caesar learned anything to be able to overcome it is going to be the big issue there.
One more thing to note before we get things going. All three of their head-to-heads have happened in the regional finals of a bracket. Well, with August, it would be technically the conference semifinals, but you get the gist. All of them have happened in the round of 8. The first time, August 2023, Aria walked away the winner 5-3, and then the second time, which was the next tournament, Aria won in a sweep here. Hopefully, we will not see that result. You never like to see a sweep here. I don't think we'll get that, but you never know. But with that said, I think we are ready to get things rolling here. Nam will be our ref for tonight. So he can feel free to set the game up and get things rolling here as we go into game number 1. And I will also grab the scoreboard so we can get that going. Again, best of 9, 2 power plays here. This is where 2 power plays comes in. Last round had 1, and now we jump into the phase where there are 2 power plays. So a little bit more room to work with for both players here. And both played in the 2023 where we know historically there were a bunch of power plays there. So we'll see how both of them adapt with that. I don't power play metric is wrong, but there we go. But with that, Caesars, feel free to give the first card call here as we get set to get things rolling. All right, I'm gonna start with 11 here, so a bit of a mid tier start. Sanford, talk me through that one as we start with the yellow reverse.
Yeah, it's definitely one that I've gone to a little bit more frequently as of late. Sometimes if you know that an opponent wants a certain card start, it's a nice middle ground to ease yourself into it, figure out where the luck's gonna be siding. Do you want to play high then from there because you're getting a lot of action cards? Do you want to play low because you're not, but your opponent is? Stuff like that can kind of go into it.
Ooh.
As mentioned, there's an action card.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really seen a lot of people jump on the action card start, but I mean, Caesar taking advantage to get an early jump with the +2, so Arya up to 13 and Caesar already down to 9. And Arya's gonna keep it yellow though, so may like the yellow for now. Caesar actually draws
Caesar
very
didn't
early.
have much yellow.
I mean, that could happen sometimes on a 11, and Arya is gonna pay back the +2 now, so no more yellow +2 for the rest of this rest of this cycle in the
Oh,
deck.
this game, unless we get to a draw, but that would be miles away.
It is true. Well, we are continuing to run yellow. That +2 may have given Caesar that yellow 0 here, so might have some life once again on the yellow. But for how long? Arya runs out as well, so both running it dry on yellow. So we'll see if Caesar has a play here or if it's going to be a potential draw city. He has another yellow here. Oh, Arya gets a top deck. That's going to be the first ditto of the match. And yeah, now we're kind of in a point where it's really about whether they switch or not. There's the switch. Caesar is going to initiate it. We go into blue now, so that should free both of them up. I'm sure Aria is pleased to have that switch there, as the yellow 5 top deck will now not go to waste. He's going to continue by
How's
moving
a
up the
one
number
up this
ladder.
time?
Yep, moving up the number ladder, going up to the blue 6. And Caesar's going to go back down to the 2. Ooh, another blue 5, so both blue 5s off the table now. And we're just going to keep rolling with blue here. I mean, we're not really seeing a lot of light switching early on. Both just want to kind of stick with the color and run it out as long as they can. So we'll see how this impacts the rest of the game.
I think that definitely plays into Aria's favor, considering what she tries to do. It's just going to be a matter of how big of a run can she form, how big of a run can Cesar do, who gets to it first.
Yeah, that's true. We're going to have to see who gets that run here because we're not really seeing a lot of ammo so far. Only thing we saw was the +2s from both of them on yellow, but since then it's all been numbers. See, there's the table. It's 7 cards apiece here. Cesar looking to bring it down, and that is a big run here. He's going to move it down to 3 here. But has the +2 at the top
to
to...
green.
Yeah, has the +2 on the top to give Aria 2 more cards, but now we're in the green, so only card we have not seen yet is red.
Could be a warning shot of split ammo, but let's see what Cesar's got there. How can Aria respond? Because she's probably got some ammo up her sleeve, if I know her play style.
That's true. She's really good with the ammo holds here, so could see something. But again, for Cesar, I mean, if he has a wild in the back pocket here, this could be putting him in check. Yeah, Aria taking her time here, just thinking this through. All right, good to play with number here. We'll see if Cesar can maybe get a run here or just plays a number. I mean, based off the type, this might be a hold here. No, okay, so it is a run, but it's only the Uno.
I don't like that idea.
Yeah,
Yep.
there it is. Yeah, or okay, +6 now. Aria gonna play it safe.
And gets to the tie.
Yep. Well, we're back where we were before. 7 cards and on blue, so that kind of just resets the last 2 minutes. Oh, okay. Cesar with the wild green here. I'm curious if maybe that was the last card he was trying to hold on to. But if it wasn't, he got that from the +6. That could help him out.
It could have been.
All right. Again, rolling on the green here.
A little half-off special from Aria.
I think at this point, it's really going to be either who's trying to initialize the switches or who draws first at this point. And I think that's going to be the biggest tell on the remaining cards. And Aria, no, Cesar playing Aria's card, so maybe a slight shot there, but Aria going to pay no attention to it, plays the green 3. It's Cesar runs out.
Cesar not with much green, though.
How does Aria respond, though? She was the one who placed down this green 3. Does she have a switch, or can she keep it rolling on green? Keeps it rolling on green. Goes with the 7, Yepes. Ooh, like a G6 top deck. Oh, and that could have actually messed up Aria there. So maybe a very timely top deck there for Cesar to put himself in draw city with Aria, maybe give some more life in this game.
Both players get knocked out of the red zone.
And I mean, speaking of red zone, we still have not seen red so far. We're about 6 minutes in, and no red to be found.
Get the feeling that that's probably where both players are going to want to end this game. It's just a matter of getting to it and timing it right.
Yeah, we'll have to see, but these extra cards are definitely going to make that finish more murky, most likely. Yeah, draw city keeps on rolling here, past 7 minutes. Looking like a bit of a long opening game here to start. And Yeah, we're kind of rolling back to double digits here.
Yeah, and now it starts to try and be a matter of figuring out what could be the card to get off of. I mean, a 6 isn't a very good one as Caesar gets a +2, gets rid of the other +2 in green, and the final 3 in green.
Yeah, now Aria gonna respond with the green 5 now, has some green of her own.
Which the interesting part to this is if neither player has green, the only 5 left is in red, as we've used up
Well,
both blue and
there it
yellow.
is.
So,
just as you say it, the red 5 does appear, and that is Pandora's box now, so we'll see what this red has to show. I expect to be on this for a bit.
yeah, I mean, both players should definitely have red based on what we've seen out of this match so far.
Yeah, Caesar with the 2-card lead here. We'll kind of shift back and forth between 1 and 2, but oh, Arya with a quick switch here doesn't stay on red for long.
So again, could be a situation of she wanted to test out whether or not Caesar had red and whether or not that's where she wanted to end. So there isn't a lot in blue either. Or at least about half the blues have been played, I should say.
I mean, yeah, I mean both +2s are gone. Got a reverse there, but besides that, it's kind of been a bit
Both
open.
5s, both 6s.
Blue 8
I mean, all the high numbered cards are still there, other than that blue 8 that's just been played.
and the blue 7, but
Well, it hadn't been the blue 7 hadn't been played when I said it.
well,
Over to yellow, though.
I'm just throwing it on. Just gotta throw it on there. A little bit of that quick action, but now we go into yellow. And again, this is just kind of like a slow, methodical pace here. We're just kind of rolling down on the numbers. Don't want to use any of that ammo for a big, massive run until it's a finish, at least, I think, for the most part.
Well, and the interesting part about this is none of the +2s are left in yellow. I just looked at the stats and that's when I realized I'm like, oh, okay, wow. Because they've played 6 of the +2s in this game alone, so we're down to just the red +2s. So no way of actually adding cards unless it's through a +4 before swapping.
There's 3 +4s left, so that definitely is a possibility, but Caesar is typing a bit, so maybe has a run of his own.
Just on the outside edge of the red zone, we've seen some 6-card runs this year. So you can't be unsurprised if it happens.
This might be a 6-card run right here, because he just got down to 2. And there you go.
Yep.
All right, Caesar opens up the scoring with game
10
1.
and a half minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty good opening game. I mean, saw some draw cities here, and I think Caesar was just kind of holding on to that ammo, waiting for the moment to strike, and he was able to get it there. So Caesar opens up the scoring, goes up 1-0. Caesar, I mean, that was a pretty good game for you, all things considered. You got down to Uno at one point, got blocked from the +4 from Aria, but now find yourself back on top, and now you lead with a 1-0 start, and you technically have the call for game 2 here. But thoughts on game 1 here, and anything that just kind of stuck out to you while going through that? As I mean, that was a decently long one, with going 10 minutes 35 seconds. We'll see what Caesar has to say here.
Should probably type out Aria's question while you were waiting.
Good idea. All right, there's a question for Aria. We'll read it out here and see what she has to say. Aria tough start to the match, but still early. Felt like you're trying a few things there, but could never really result in the finish. Your thoughts on the first game? Anything that maybe could have gone different? And then for Cesar, the first Uno attempt, I had a red skip as the last remaining card, so it was basically on a prayer to seal soonish with a lucky switch. Otherwise, it was a good game on my part. Didn't get rattled after +4. Kept it cool and got away with the win, but it's a long series ahead. And I mean that is interesting because with Caesar saying that, I mean that finish, if Arya just kept it the same color or just didn't do the +4, likely would not have been able to get the win there. But I mean sometimes that's like it's the risk reward you take with that. Arya could have held on to the +4, but that's a really tough call to make, especially in the moment. But yeah, we'll read Arya quickly, and then get your thoughts, Sanford. For Arya, knew what I did was wrong. Definitely not something I would let occur again, but a long way to go. So target is to rectify that. But yeah, I mean, pretty solid opening first game. Bit of back and forth. I mean, Sanford, your thoughts on just how that went, and again, Arya electing to go for the safe option there at the first Uno, when maybe she could have gone for something a little different.
I mean, that's hindsight, but I probably would have done the same thing because you have to expect the opponent to be able to have the finish. So if you have an action card that you can give them something just to at least stall it out, you got to do that. So, it's one of those things I wouldn't even call that a wrong move.
Definitely not. No.
As far as the game went, I mean, nothing really to say wrong there about it. Those 10.5 minutes, that was very clean. I would have expected that. I almost would have asked Cesar the question on basically saying, was that lessons learned from the other two matches? Because he basically pulled an Aria style run to finish it off on Aria. So definitely some lessons seeming to be learned there in terms of action cards. I'm going to use them from Cesar.
All right, well, we're gonna get game two rolling here. Caesar already asked for 12, and we start with the blue one this time. So, no action card to kick things off here, but we do start with the blue.
Sometimes like that from the bot that it doesn't start off with the action card, lends itself a little bit better.
A little bit, but once again, similar, kind of somewhat similar story here. Where we just stick with the same color. Caesar not gonna throw a +2 this time.
No action card with it.
Caesar is liking these threes so far, but are you gonna just keep it rolling on the blues here? And I think this is just kind of gonna be how most of these games might start for the most part, unless we go somewhere low, where it's just gonna be feeling it out on the initial color and then maybe going from there.
We've got the 1, 2, 3 going at least, so possibly the small straight here if a 4 comes up.
We're gonna get a straight run here on 4 cards. So I mean, you got your 4 in a way, but maybe not in the way you were expecting.
I got the 4.
You got
Not
the
the way I
4.
was expecting it. I
Yeah,
mean,
green
technically
0.
still have the run of 4 as well because it's a 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
That is true.
From the very bottom though to the top from Aria.
Again, Caesar kind of trying to open up this game a little aggressive here, but we'll see what Aria does. Aria, again, keeping it cool for now. Just I think for Aria, just kind of waiting to see if Caesar can run himself out and go dry. I think it's kind of been what she's been doing a little bit so far, but for Caesar, he's gonna have some more cards rolling on the green as he plays Aria's card with the green 1. Ooh, and that's not gonna be great for Aria. She has to draw.
Well, not surprising that she'd be the first one to enter or to start drawing at any game here, but still down 7, not where you really want to be drawing.
Yeah, I mean, drawing at 13 cards is rough here, and Caesar's going to keep it rolling on the green, so he is building a massive advantage at this point. I mean, if Caesar keeps this rolling, this ultimately can end up being a Plan A game, but we'll see if Aria has anything to respond with. There's a response there, was not really feeling comfortable, goes with the +4, and once again, adds on a +2 as well.
Well, now I just gotta try and close it off though, or risk angering Ard somewhere and him not knowing why.
I would be stunned if she does not have a closer on this one. Especially with 11 cards. But you'll see. Yeah, yellow skiff.
Oh,
He's gonna keep
he's
the run going.
shredded. Okay. Quad play into a 0. That's the second quad play into a 0 today, or in this game. So, to quote Doofenshmirtz, if I had a nickel for every time we'd seen a quad play into a 0, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that's happened twice.
And it could happen a third time, knowing how this goes. We are only in game 2. But oh, quick, hey, there's the switch from Aria there. So actually doesn't stay on the yellow for long, despite switching into it. Yeah, at this point it's all tied up, but give the possession arrow to Aria at this point. Blue 2, blue 9, we are rolling with the blues here still. And, I mean, for both, it's just kind of, now we're kind of going back into the patience game here. Just kind of biding your time, roll down on the cards one at a time. Don't make any moves that are too hasty, and just keep your cool. So, both are doing that right now. Aria just keeps it rolling, goes one down from the 9 to the 8. We'll see what the response is from Cesar. Will he keep it blue or maybe look for a switch here? His typing here. I mean, we've seen sometimes Cesar has those long types. You kind of feel a run is coming, but not going to have the run, but it is going to have the switch. We go into red now. Which, I mean, we didn't see red for so long in game 1, but now makes its, I believe, first appearance here. Once again, I mean, yeah, once again, red is the last color to show up. So red really liking to emerge late in these games.
Yeah, just kind of laying in the woodworks, basically, isn't it?
We'll see if this gives the opening for a finish, though. Both are getting down the cards here. Aria at 5, Cesar at 6, looking to make it 5 right now. Maybe more if he has a run. Alright, well, he is going to make it 4. He's going to take the possession arrow now and has 4 cards left.
With the aforementioned Tapir as well.
Again, make sure you tune in 11 p.m. Tapir and Short going on some D1 drives here with some late night MRE in action for the second regional final of the tournament. That'll be myself, First Vapor. Make sure to tune in. That'll be quite a fun stream, to say the least. But are you going to go with the red 3, 1 down? Yeah, we are really getting down to the wire here for game number 2. Ooh, Aria runs out on the red here. Can Cesar keep it going to go down to 2? Can Cesar take in a second here? Has been liking this slower play style so far to open up the series. But we'll see if this can lead to him getting a 3-card run to make it 2-0, or if he'll just go 1 down or even draw. Alright, gonna go red 9. He's down to 2. Aria's still drawing. Could maybe have a double finish here. Maybe was just thinking which number card to play. Okay, no, he doesn't have a double here, but he does have Uno. Goes with the 4 again. Aria now gonna have to think about this one. Drawing once more on the red, and she's gonna draw a 3rd time here. Will that do it? Yes, it will with the blue wild. So Cesar goes up 2-0 here. So good start for Cesar here. Able to find some success on the upper mid tier. And is doing a pretty good job thus far. Going better than the series in 2023 for Tournament 5. But I mean, Sanford, you got any questions for Cesar on that one?
I had to mute there, so no.
No,
Not
okay.
like I did the last one. Sorry.
All right. Well, I mean, Caesar, I guess your thoughts on going up 2-0, taking the full advantage of this homestand here, and you're pretty much rallying. You're in a good spot here. I mean, you're definitely getting an advantage on the reverses here, but besides that, I mean, plus fours, plus twos can be somewhat split. And then just getting those two wilds to help you out, including that finisher there. But I mean, your thoughts on the 2-0 start here, and in a pretty good place right now. One game at a time, or you can start to come back anytime now with their homestand coming up. All right, and speaking of Aria, I'll type her question right now. Ooh, okay, no send for game 5.
That is not a surprise though from Aria. And it does seem like Caesar's had a little bit of an advantage with the action cards anyway, so
Yeah.
definitely not out of the realm of possibility of, hey, go with the low card, try and make sure that both players maybe don't get any or get many action cards.
Well, I mean, sometimes it goes the way where it's kind of just a momentum swing, and especially when someone's riding with the ammo that could help, that could go further with a no send. I mean, really for Caesar, it's just been the cards you link together. None of the really nothing that's like especially strong, like the wild plus four plus two, so it's definitely the three strongest. Those are like still relatively even. It's really just a big difference on the skips and reverses. Arya's still looking for first reverse of the match. But for Aria, her mindset is just to reset and focus forward, not much more to it. All right, well, game 5, we are going to get them rolling here. And this is going to be interesting as we start with the red 0 here. So the red is not going to be able to hide for long this time. It is the first color to make an appearance here in this game.
Decided it wanted to play a little bit bigger part this time.
All right, both have a red to open things up here. We'll see if they can keep going. Aria runs out. Can Caesar keep it rolling? No. All right, so one red apiece, and they are out. Oh, Arya gets a top deck yellow, though, so that gives maybe a little bit life to her. Could be just what she needed. And Caesar
right
gets
after
a
red, though.
wild and is going to do a KT Classic here, unless he was holding something. I think this is a KT Classic, though. Yeah, there it
I was
is.
going to say, there's no way.
But yeah, Caesar not wanting to give Arya the chance to get rolling here. So forces the red wild, and now both are going to draw here. It does not look like we got any OP hands here unless someone just got a lot of ammo on one color. Yeah, maybe I mean, you could argue the gamble did not work out for Arya here, looking for a quick finish here, or maybe it's the start of the game here. But I mean, we've seen so far Caesar's been able to find some of the ammo on the draw cities, so that might not be where she wants to be at the moment. Yeah, draws are gonna keep going here. Again on the red wild Ashley's card. And Caesar's gonna finally break it with a I guess a slight break here, not necessarily, and just to say we're not out of it, we gotta switch the green. So, Arya gonna immediately jump on the switch here. All right, Caesar going with the green as well, and
Well,
we are back rolling.
that freed up both of them. Okay, back over to green now.
Caesar actually still only have 5 cards though, so didn't actually lose too much in that. Arya's gonna power play. Maybe has a big run here on green. Oh my goodness, I think she does. Found the reverses here. 1, 2. All right, 3-card run here. Yellow 4 and the blue 4 switch. Okay, so that's an interesting power play. Using it to get the switch there. We'll see how Caesar responds. I know some people don't like that use of power play, but I actually think if done right, it could be really effective. Again, it just kind of
I've
depends
used it a
on
few
what Caesar
times.
finds.
It's one I like to hang in the back pocket when needed.
It's definitely a little risky, but can pay off. Sometimes you gotta take a little risk with the power plays. because sometimes you might not get the opportunity to just do the straight finish. But blue 4, so Aria down
Well,
to 1 power play.
It depends on what Aria has left, because obviously now seeing that she has double 4, it's a nice way of getting around that triple 4. Is what I'm going to try and say there, because she had yellow 4 and then both blues.
I think she was banking on running this blue here, and I think this is going to work out for her. Our Cesar draws. Will Aria get the finish here? Yeah, there it is. Running blue. So it works out. Good power play from Aria, and she's on the board here. 3 minutes 27.
The question there would be, talking through the power play, was a situation where she saw that she had 3 4s and knew that that was going to be her way of getting around it.
There we go. Aria on the board now. Use the power play to get there, though. Thoughts on usage there, especially with having 3 4s and that flurry of blues at the end. And then for Cesar, I mean, Aria went for the no send here. I'm not really sure if there was much you had on that start or during the draws. Your thoughts here on that game, and if there's anything else you could have done differently, or if that was just the way it played out. And then we'll see what they have to say here. But Aria is on the board here, so we do have a series now. And with a Game 4 win, she'll be looking to make it a home series for the time being. Not the ideal situation to be in, but we had to not leave anything to chance, and in the end it worked out. I think that's fair enough. I mean, Sanford, I know you were talking about it before with the triple 4s, but I think in her situation when she had all blue left and that quick switch on yellow after she just got there, I think ensuring that switch and being able to have the second blue 4 as a backup in case she got immediately switched on, I think the opportunity did present itself in the end.
I think so. It's one of those things also with having that triple 4 so late in it. It's one of those things, you don't know how much yellow Cesar would have had, and clearly she saw a situation where she could get to blue. And especially even if Cesar had another 4 to try and switch it off, she would have been able to get right back to blue again. So definitely a well-used power play. Gets her on the board at least, and like you said, home team's won every game so far.
Yeah, we'll see if the home team goes forward for 4 here. We'll jump into game number 4 now. Feel free to give the call. Aria just cannot pick 5. We'll see if she sticks with the low tier, or maybe goes with something a little different. But the 5 seemed to work out for the first go around. Alright, gonna go 1 up. Alright, red 4 is the opener. I mean, Aria is liking this low tier, so wouldn't be surprised if she wins on this one, and then if we're we go to game 7, she would go for 7, but she's gonna have to win on this one first to avoid 3-1 down. Ooh, okay. I think that's the first crossover we see. Well, we just got a rainbow at the start there, so there you go. Skittles for everyone. How about that? A little late on that one there. Cesar draws on the yellow, but Aria's going to keep it going here. Yeah, big opening for Aria. Alright, Cesar plays the yellow skip in the yellow 1, so I think the yellow 1 was the top deck, was just looking for a closer on the yellow skip. Aria's gonna power play again, so Aria is now out of power plays for the rest of the series here. Wild +4 blue. This
This can be run to the finish again.
It's another run to the finish, and I mean, just strong hit.
That's a choice though.
That one I'm not sure about. Interesting choice for the power play there. It gets her the win, so it's not a wasted power play, but I mean, she will have no power play for the rest of the series, so maybe just trying to kickstart the momentum there. I mean, that is a quick game, so I don't really have much to say for Cesar on that one, but I am curious for Aria's thoughts to use the second power play right there and leave herself, um, not free, leave herself clean for the rest of the series.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is she was worried about Caesar holding on to a +2, but that
Well, she was holding onto a +2.
mm, well, I mean that immediately just legitimized using the power play then. So
I mean, it works out to avoid that, but I think also you got to ask whether that time was the time to use her just to I guess take the +2s. Obviously not knowing it, but because Arya is not going to have power play for the rest of the series now. Both of them will be used in game 3 and game 4.
yeah, but again, like I've seen it, I've experienced it basically even just this year. Um Sometimes those games that you think, oh well, okay, I don't need to use it, end up being the crucial ones where you should have. So she at least has used both of them, gotten the wins in both games. I'm not gonna say that they were misused, mishandled. Especially in a situation where it comes out that the opponent did have a +2.
I mean, definitely two good power plays in the sense in the context of what could have happened, but um it's more of just potential opportunity cost later down the line. We'll have to see. It's just gonna depend on how the series plays out, but not the way I wanted to go racing, so to speak, but definitely in this era, being versatile and adaptable to all conditions is proving to be a necessary trait to have this in this have in this championship, and especially for this event so far. All right, well, I don't really have much for Cesar on that one since that was a 75-second game, and I mean, I think the only insight we really needed was that he had +2s in the wings. So, I mean, if you have anything else, Sanford, you could ask, but otherwise, I think we are set to go to game 5.
I did it.
All right, well, Nam goes back to Caesar now. Nam, feel free to ask Caesar the question. We'll see what he goes for. I mean, the upper mid tiers worked for him so far, so I wouldn't be surprised if he sticks in that range, but could always try something a little different. Caesar is typing up here. All right, gonna go 10. So instead of going one up, would go one down from the original game 1 start. So again, staying in that range, feels comfortable there. And we start with Aria's card, the green one. So we'll see if
Oh,
that means
how
anything.
how long till
Or
we wait till seeing Caesar's card start a game then?
yeah, we're gonna have to find out, but we'll see if that means anything for this game. I mean, again, Aria with two straight, although this has been a home series so far. We'll see whether it continues being a home series or if Aria can start taking advantage of the momentum. Red 4 will complete the rainbow here, and that'd be the second game in a row we have it, but a lot of switches here, and Aria's going to deny the rainbow, but is going to do a double to take the lead outright. Again, the 2-0 difference on the power play is going to have to be interesting to watch out for the rest of the series here. If Aria gets to the lead in these next few games, it could really force Caesar to use them in situations to block a finish rather than use it to help his own finish. But Caesar went with red, but Aria's going to go into the blue. So trying to block the red for now. Does Caesar have an option here potentially to move back into that red, or is he going to be trying something on blue here? Gonna have to wait and see, but he is typing a bit.
Well,
Could,
typing a bit, usually a sign of a run. So how big of a run is it going to be?
could be also just going through the thought process here, and thought process is going to be a 2-card run with the +4, so throws Arya back and goes back into red.
Lead,
Does take the
4 to
lead, that
9
is true.
actually on that. So basically, gear table flip.
And Aria's gonna have the block once again. Goes into yellow, but maybe Cesar wanted that.
Oh,
Just to
trips
say it,
9 though over to blue.
that might have actually been what Cesar wanted. We'll see if Aria has a response here. 8 cards in her hand. Blue reverse.
As a reverse, this can be a color swap. No, blue 0.
Cesar at 3 cards. And about 2.5 minutes into this game, Cesar looking to make this a home series and go up 3-2. Only has a blue 3 to respond with, but that puts him down to 2 cards. Blue 2 goes Aria goes 1 down. Can Cesar find Uno here? Finds Uno on the 7. I mean, with how this has played out so far, this puts Aria in a tricky spot. Can't really guess what this last card is. Just going to stick with blue. And Cesar's going to have a wild to save, so really wasn't going to matter what Aria did there. Cesar had most options covered, and Cesar 3-2.
+2. Yeah. Oh, not even +2, sorry. No, unless she had a +4. She wouldn't have held on to a +2 there.
Yeah, yeah, again, that wild is going to cover most options there, but Cesar, I mean, the home stance for Cesar, so this is looking good in his favor at the moment, because that puts Game 6 in a favorable spot for him. But I mean, Cesar, your thoughts here? Been able to take advantage of this home stand here, and you do have both your power plays, so in theory, you could just power play to the finish here for the next 2 games. But your thoughts on just how this has gone so far, and the ability to close this one out and continue the trend? Alright, then for question, Aria trend has been a home series. As we're now 5-5 on the home side winning. Your thoughts on what you feel you need to do to try to break the trend and swing the match in your favor? And for Cesar, I mean, I can power play to close out the last 2 remaining games, but I need to put myself in that situation where I can do so first. Just need to be patient and smart. And that is well said, because technically you can't just recklessly power play there, because then at that point it might burn it and ultimately put yourself in a worse spot. But for Aria, keeps it short and simple. I need to maximize what I've got. That's all. So yeah, Sanford, your thoughts on this? I mean, home series so far. Game 6, that you would think in theory this is Cesar favorite at the moment. But I mean, any comments on just anything you've noticed besides the trend, and anything that might be interesting to watch out for in these potentially last 4 games?
Well, I mean, it's got to be looked at as being Caesar's favor when he's got the power play that he can use and has only 2 games to win. That said, Caesar's been here before. He knows not to count chickens before they're hatched. So he's gonna treat these probably still like he's tied or up 1-0 or something, probably. But it's gonna be interesting to see what Aria can pull out of her hat here.
Well, I mean, one thing Arya has not pulled out of her hat so far is the wilds here. 5-0 in the wild difference so far. I mean, your thoughts on Arya not having a single wild so far in this series?
I mean, it's intriguing. Obviously, it puts her down in terms of what she can do to try to combat Caesar at the end of the game, but we've seen people be able to win without having wild +4s. So I think not having one of them is overcomable, and considering the wild really is only at least in my opinion just a get out of jail free card, it's not the worst one to really be down 5-0 in.
All right, we'll see how it plays out. We'll see if Arya also can find a wild in Game 6 here. Maybe change the tides, but We'll jump to game 6. Nam, feel free to give the call. Um, and we'll see if Cesar. I mean, for Cesar, I would think he goes either 9 or 13. That's kind of been the range he's been looking at so far. So we'll see which one. All right, no, I am wrong. He goes 14. So going a little bit higher, going towards the high tier now. And blue reverses the opener, so ammo card start for the second time this series.
Well, we've seen a reverse start too. Just this time it's in blue instead of yellow.
Yeah, both ammo starts have been the reverses here. Unlike last time, Cesar will not try to go for a quick run here. Just gonna go with the blue 4. No, it was a 3, not a 4. But we've seen quite a few 4s in this series.
That we have.
Yeah, and again, I mean, we saw a little bit of variation in the last 2 games with the light switches early on, but this one's going to kind of go back to what the first 2 games were, where we're just sticking on the initial color and seeing where we go from there. And Caesar's going to be the one who initiates the switch here. We go into red now. Red 3. Again, with Cesar having 2 power plays, definitely in advantage at the moment for the entire series, even if he does end up losing this game. But I mean, your thoughts here for like what this does on Aria's side of things, whether she maybe goes a little bit more aggressive, knowing that Cesar has 2 power plays still left in his hand.
I think for Aria, what it presents is a situation where she has to think 2 moves ahead, because what she can know then is, okay, if Cesar doesn't use the power play, every likelihood he's not 1 turn away. But she has to keep in mind, could he be 2 turns away? Because the moment he gets that second turn away, that presents the situation where he could power play if he wants to.
All right, we'll have to see how this all plays out, though. But I mean, we've been running mostly numbers so far. I mean, Cesar did just have a double here on the green, but kind of getting down to it, we're already both players getting about half their cards out from their initial starting hand. And I'm expecting a lot of saves here based off how much we've ran numbers.
Cesar loading up, has 6 cards. We've seen him. We saw him get to 6 or from 6 to 0 before already.
I'm thinking at this point, if we do see power play, that will be the game. But if we don't, still a little bit more life from Aria. But again, we kind of mentioned about the possibly turning up the aggressiveness here. Could see that if Cesar doesn't have a finish here.
Well, the longer he types, the more likely it is that he does have the finish here. Might be trying to get loaded in to where he can beat out. Once he starts, he doesn't have to worry about power play. So
yeah, Aria can't do a defensive power play here. Okay, gonna go do a triple here. No power play though. So Aria
which
does
is
have
interesting.
Aria does have an opportunity to give a response. But I mean, I feel like with her, she might be a little precarious here at this point. Could also be she ultimately has nothing, which for her case would not be helpful for her odds of trying to win. All right, there's the +4. I mean, three of her 4 +4s have been more in a defensive use so far in this series. So trying to playing more defense with the ammo for the most part. But I also feel like with the position she's been in for most of the series, it's kind of been where she's been forced to. Yeah, triple 5 here. Red 5 will be the rainbow. We'll see if Cesar has the rainbow or if he goes for either a switch to a different color or maybe just keeps it green. He's gonna do a switch
He
to
has the red, just doesn't have the red 6.
well, missing the 5 here, and Aria draws on
Red
red,
5
so Not good for Aria, but both are at 5 cards. Cesar will have a play here at least. There's the power play. That might
Power
be it.
play. That's gonna be game.
+4 could have possibly delayed the inevitable, or maybe even just gave Cesar what he needed to get that game locked down and finished. Does need to execute though. So, I mean, ain't over till it's over.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, reverse +2 +4, gonna probably end it off with either a wild or a blue. It's gonna be a blue, and that's 5 minutes 19 seconds. Cesar is now 1 away from his first Final Four, in a really good spot right now, and this homestand trend continues. But I mean, Cesar, your thoughts on that one? I'm curious what the +4 gave you, whether that just gave you a few extra hurdles to get to the finish, or if that actually gave you the connection you needed to get the job done. +4 gave me the blues and red power cards. Yeah, so in that case, I think that just delayed the inevitable, because that would have meant he had the he had the other +4 and then a wild. So I think for Aria, ultimately the right move, but unfortunately just did not really get fortunate enough with the cards Cesar got there. And then for Aria down
Way it
4-2,
goes
need.
sometimes there, basically. Sorry.
Now you could go ahead.
I was just saying way it goes sometimes where you try and make a good play and backfires horribly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that one really backfired per se, but definitely just didn't get the result she needed, because I think the game was going to be over relatively soon, even without it. All right, Aria down 4-2, need to win 3 straight, but you got the homestand for next 2. Thoughts on what you need to do to block out Caesar and keep the series alive? And she says defy the odds, and I mean, odds are a big thing with Jackpot June, so we'll see if she can defy the odds. And Caesar says it's on. Again, this has been a homestand series so far, 6 for 6 now. So Aria does have that going for her going into these next 2, but I mean, Caesar has the power play also, so has a little bit more leverage with his hands. So going to be interesting to see how these last few games unfold, and whether Aria can keep it going to make it 8 for 8 and maybe flip the
Well,
trend in game 9.
I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be a 7-card start here then for Aria as well. It's that's the other thing is when you look at, I mean, the lows worked. Everything 10 or higher has been where Caesar's lived and died.
Yeah, that's probably what it's going to be. I think if it goes to game 9 also, I wouldn't be surprised if Caesar goes for the full send here, but that is if we get the
Oh,
game
for
9.
sure.
Yeah, there it is, 7. And I would assume if we make it the game 8, that's going to be 8.
Yep, probably.
All right, red 2's the
Normal
opener
number
here.
start.
I mean, the one risk with the lower tier here is that if Caesar has a really good hand to start off, it's going to be probably over. So Aria is willing to run that risk. This low tier has worked out so far. That is true. But power play is going to be in play starting from this point. Not what Aria needs here with the draw. And Caesar draws as well, so both not much on the red here, but for Aria's sake, maybe not the worst start to be in, especially with not seeming to have a ton off the start, but gets a top deck red 4.
Well, and the 7-card start realistically paying off for Aria there because it did get an early draw from Caesar, so or early-ish.
Alright, gonna initiate the switch, yellow 4. I think the important thing for Aria is to build herself a bit of a gap to kind of protect from a potential big run to the end, or at least lower the odds of it. But Aria gonna keep rolling here. Caesar with the double, so he's down to 7. Aria's at 4 now. Cesar runs out, and this is not looking great for him here. And Aria runs out as well, so we're looking for the green and blue here at this point.
Interesting that both of them are down to basically the same two colors, seemingly.
Well, we might get some more reds into the equation here with this draw on the yellow. So red might be making a reappearance soon. But yeah, I mean, once this draw city's over, this is going to be once again a 3-color game. Could even be a 2-color game if the reds still don't want to come out. Alright, top deck's yellow 5. Do we get a switch here, or do we get a second top deck? We do get a switch, we go into the red. And there it is. Red is back into the equation here. Alright, so got some reds here. We'll have a limited lifespan, though, so we'll see how long it goes. Ooh, +2. Are you throwing some ammo here? Blue +2. Throws the +6. Blue reverse. Got the run going. And the blue 3. So, Aria
And
making
these are
a...
back to 17.
Gonna make a big gap here. But we'll see what Cesar has. Gonna go for the early +4 and then the red 2. So, went a little aggressive there. But going to throw Aria back to 9. Aria still with the lead though. Still has a 6-card advantage. Question is now, what can she do with it? I should probably turn up my mic a little bit. Maybe that should be better. I think that would be better. Yeah, that should work. Yeah, Aria taking a second to think about this. Cars
Not
are
the
going
worst
great.
thing for her to do.
Cars are going fast. But oh,
Gets a color
okay.
swap.
So gets the color swap. That's big. Does Cesar have the crossover back into red? No, it has the crossover in the green now. Again, green and blue are the ones that we hadn't seen a lot of so far. Green especially. I don't think we've seen green at all so far this series, so that would be Pandora's, and Aria's gonna have a double there. Question is gonna be how long can Aria run this green? We think Cesar could run it for a bit, but the real question is gonna be how long can Aria run it? Green 2 has the Gone there. Is Aria gonna be able to get off another card on green? Yes, she will. Green 9 gets one closer. And we are getting close to 5 minutes here, so going to be a little bit longer than the last few games.
Take a square root now of the last card with the green 3.
And goes one up with a green 4. Again, those cards, 2 of our international players, Rodden and Captain. And doubles up for the green 8 now. And that's another international player, Tronic. So that gets the switch though with blue. And again, Aria is keeping things going, which is what she needs. Cesar, of course, able to follow in pursuit, but I think for Aria, the real thing is to make sure she does not draw. Blue working out so far. What's the response from Cesar? Keeps it blue. Trying to find that draw from Aria here. Can Aria get the Uno, or maybe even get a double to finish it? No finish on blue. Runs out at 2. Question is now, what will Cesar do here? May have a few options, but Gonna stick with keeping it on 4. Just gonna kind of walk through the minefield here. Just make sure he doesn't step on the wrong number.
Of course, getting the number or the color swap at the right time for him would, even if it's from Aria, wouldn't be the worst thing either. So.
Blue 7 keeps going on blue. Aria desperately looking for that switch.
Well, every other color is open on this 7. Whereas like with the 4, there was no red chance. Top deck's a 5.
And that actually throws Cesar off
Cesar
here.
runs out.
If Aria can find the switch here, that actually could be big. But I think she could also afford a bit of a draw city as well. She does get the switch, though. She goes into green. And now she is back rolling. Cesar gets the switch into yellow. Does that force a draw out of Aria, or is that just what she needed? About to hit the 7 minutes 30 here. Aria draws. Good ice there. Keeps himself rolling, and now he could potentially run this yellow. And Aria agonizingly close, but just cannot seem to get rid of those last 2 cards.
Double play from Cesar gets him into the red zone. And if Aria draws, then we're tied.
Well, it's,
no.
Caesar's gonna need to play another one here, but I mean, with each draw and Cesar getting closer, the hopes and dreams of making the Final Four slowly fading away here. Cesar, for him, it's closer and closer to finally getting there. Red 7, that might open the door for Aria. But now she's not in the ideal spot. She is tied with Cesar. Red skip. Wild blue. Okay, so we're back in blue. Cesar draws. Does Aria get the... I would think Aria could get the Uno here. +2, and that's probably going to be it. There it is. Aria able to find a way to get the win.
Get the guy moved over.
Despite it being close, Aria is going to keep the homestand going and keeps the series alive. Really, really tense game. There were definitely a lot of moments where I felt like Cesar was close, but Aria able to hang on. We'll get a quick word from her in just a second. I guess for Cesar, I guess what was the ending there for you? And were you closer, or was it just kind of a wide array of numbers that you had to work through? All right, had the numbers just lack the action cards to finish it right there. Suppose it was heading my way at some point. And then for Aria, definitely tense and agonizing. We can still get 2 cards for a while there, but found the finish there after the red skip into blue. Thoughts on that game as you kept yourself in it, to win it for at least another game. And someone's talking on Sanford 10, but yeah, we'll see what Aria has to say here. But that is a big win for her to keep herself alive. Definitely was a close one, but the only thing that really matters for her is she got the win, so we'll force a game 8, and we will likely see 8 cards for that one. Any small mistake in this game over. This was good, but the state of play is quite clear, and we'll need to push it towards the end with this one. 8, there you go. We'll get 8 cards on here, and game 8 underway. Green 2 is the opening play here, or opening card. Again, this low tier has worked for Aria so far, and it's not going to work on the start, though. No green in the beginning, and no green from Cesar either.
Neither player. And I think it worked out just fine for her then.
weirdly enough, these starting not necessarily like the starting hand, but the starting colors have worked out for Aria. And suddenly, this 8-card start is looking like a 11-card start, which might not bode well for her.
I was gonna say that hasn't exactly been the best thing for her on the mid tier, but definitely not a bad spot for her to be.
All right, 12-card start technically now, as Aria gets the green 7 off the top. And oh, now, okay, no, she's rolling now. She was holding. Does that maybe force Cesar to get things rolling if he's holding? He's going to have an immediate switch to red there, so going to leave it up to mystery for now.
But that should free up both players.
Definitely. I mean, I would say it would free up both players, but I mean, you just saw the second green from Aria there, so she definitely held something. But red 1 from Aria. I think both will get rolling here now, but interesting opening there. That really ends up starting with 12, but Aria with a big run here. Again, trying to make this gap. That is what she needs to do here to keep herself at least safe from potential power play. And I feel like we know what the game plan is going to be with the power play for Cesar here. But again, that could always change depending on how the series goes. But 3-card run of his own to close the gap. Aria is still in the lead. It's 5-8. I guess the real question at this point is there any green left? So there's definitely a hold from Aria. We're not sure about Cesar, but Cesar going with an immediate switch to yellow. Aria keeps it going though. 7-4. +2 yellow 0. That gives Cesar a lead and not the spot Aria wants to be in now.
Not a terrible spot. Only down 1. Can still. I was gonna say can still get to ties. Just now possession arrows over to Cesar.
Cesar definitely gonna have the advantage here. He feels it. He feels it's close. Just trying to get to the end here.
It's definitely close because Cesar's now down to 4. When does that power play come up, and can Aria? Never mind.
Oh man, that draw is gonna be devastating there. Could
Because
be.
now Cesar can chill it out basically.
Yellow 5 gets to switch the blue 5, but I mean that could be what Cesar wants. Aria just trying anything here at this point. Can Cesar find the finish here? There it is. Cesar gonna find the finish here.
It's over.
Well, just gotta execute here. Just gotta execute.
Done.
It's not over. Not officially over until it's over. Got to make sure you get it in. We've seen this happen before, and there it is. It is over. Cesar wins it 5-3. Makes his first Final Four in his career. Gets the job done. Gets his revenge over Aria. Finally gets the win over her, and finally gets a win in the round of 8 to make it to the Final Four. Cesar gets the job done in 8. All right, Cesar. I mean, your thoughts. I mean, definitely a long. I love cars that speed on the highway. Anyways, Cesar, I mean, your thoughts here. I mean, it was a very agonizing path to get here, but I mean, especially after how the tournament started with the DQ win and then going down 3-0 against Strip, it seemed to be very tough to find yourself in this position, but yet here you are. I mean, your thoughts on getting the win here, getting one back on Aria after being down 2-0 in the head-to-head. And you're in your first Final Four, which is definitely an accomplishment. You've been trying to make it here for a long time, but you finally got the job done, and you will now be in the Final Four with technically 2 matches away from potentially winning the tournament. while Cesar answers, I'm going to give Aria the question. Aria gave it a good fight, but unfortunately came up short. But your thoughts on the series and what this tournament run means to you as you try to go for all in tournament 5 for a solid showing? Yeah, Cesar with a big win. I know he's got to be exhilarated to get the job done. And definitely was not an easy path to get here. Definitely had some hiccups along the way, but at the end, able to get the job done. And he now goes to the final. He now goes to the final four table for this tournament. Finally, thought I'd never get the chance to experience the Final Four as a player. I am speechless, man. Not sure what I can put in the words, but finally, it's over. And you could definitely feel the excitement there. Cesar been trying to get here for a long time. Had 3 prior shots in the round of 8. Unfortunately, came up short in all 3 of them, but gets the win here. And technically, 3 of those round of 8 matchups were against Aria. So that's kind of ironic, but I mean, gets the win, gets the round of 8 win finally, and books his ticket into the Final Four. He now has a good chance to get an accolade, assuming it's not a 4th place finish, but that's probably not what he's worried about right now. He's just happy to be in the Final Four for the first time, and definitely an accomplishment very few players are able to achieve in this league, especially on the T1 level. Sanford, your thoughts on Cesar getting the win here, especially after what it was pretty much a back and forth series for most of that one. Cesar breaking the trend on game 8.
Yeah, I think Cesar put it best there. He's able to finally get past his ghost here. Basically, he finally gets to a Final Four. Finally gets past Aria, considering was 0-2 against Aria prior to this. And for Cesar, does this count as finally that good first win? Maybe. But
I think from a moral perspective, it will.
Yeah, moral perspective for sure. Maybe not necessarily on quad. He might still be looking for that first, like, at the moment that he beat them, they were in top tier quad, but still for him, a good showing here. Aria can't be too displeased about it. She still gets to an Elite 8 at least, which for her season is definitely saying something, at least because she hadn't been anywhere all year up to this point either. And it's going to make that bubble battle for looking into T5 probably that much more tight, realistically.
Yeah, Aria might be able to sneak into the lower half of that one. Still is going to need another good tournament 5 showing to maybe jump to the top 16, but I definitely would say she's not completely out of the picture, but definitely would be a long hill to climb there, but not as steep as it was coming into this tournament. But for Aria's words, definitely a shame to go out this round. Honestly, a very poor outing on my end. Silver lining is that overall we carried good momentum and resulted in a respectable position in the table for the first time in 2 years. Poor performances, I definitely put the damper to that, but in the end, it's a very tight field. It takes your absolute best to be the best, and tonight wasn't meant to be. Yeah, unfortunate end for Aria there. I mean, I think she put up a good fight, but I think at the end, some of the cards just did not come her way when she needed it most. And yeah, I do think ultimately that wild differential it's gonna be one she hoped she would have gotten a little bit more on. Only finds 1 wild the entire series. But again, Cesar able to fully capitalize on what he was able to get, able to find some of the timing there and absolutely executed to perfection. He moves on to the Final Four. Sanford, do you have anything for Cesar here? Before we take a look at the bracket here as we complete our first regional final.
No, I think I've pretty well gotten my thoughts in on this one. Very well played from both. I was excited to be here for it. And congrats to Cesar on finally getting over the top.
Congratulations indeed. I know for Cesar, been looking for it for a long time. Been a player since 2023, makes it to the Final Four for the very first time. And is next to one of those 2023 players to break through. We'll take a look at the bracket here. Cesar gets the win here, moves on to the Final Four. He will be representing the clubs region in that one. We'll find out his opponent later tonight in about 2.5 hours, whether it be myself or Vapor. We'll see who gets the job done. Again, that'll be streamed here on the MRE channel. That one being taken by Not Short and Tapir. They will be going on a lot of late night drives here, so that'll be a very fun stream to watch out for. And then tomorrow we have, right before the 4th of July, Varigold and Brian, another one of those players from 2023, looking to make his first Final Four. Varigold looking to make their second Final Four this season in what has been a very big revitalization season. And then finally, wrapping it up on Saturday, Toaster Guy looking to make it back to Super League, getting another Final Four appearance, and background the rookie, looking to be the second rookie to make the Final Four this season and help his chances at making Super League in his first attempt. All right, Sanford, any last comments on the series here before we wrap up? I guess just thoughts on the remaining matches for the rest of the round.
Just that if that's going to be how we start this one, it should be a very interesting round of 8. And again, just congrats to Cesar. Finally gets that monkey off his back a little bit.
Yep, Cesar finally get the monkey off his back, and with that out of the way, may have an opportunity here to get the tournament victory and have that Super League spot secured, pretty much auto berth. So we'll see how it goes. That's a big help for Cesar when it comes to making Super League outright, but I think he'll want to try to make it in without any doubts with the at-large bubble, since that one is seeming to be very tight coming into Tournament 5. That'll do it. We'll be back in about 2.5 hours for our next match over in the Diamonds region. We'll see who gets the win there, and that'll determine our first Final Four matchup for the next round. But until then, on behalf of the MRE Uno team, my co-commentator Sanford, our referee Nam, and are both our players. Thank you all so much for watching. Congratulations to Cesar on winning the match and making his first career Final Four. We'll see what he can do going forward, but for Cesar, definitely going to be riding the wave of adrenaline after getting the win here tonight. And we'll see what he does from this point. But again, on behalf of the entire commission team, thank you all so much for watching. We will be back in about 2.5 hours for our next match. But until then, take care, everybody, and have a good one.
This has been a presentation of MRE Uno Division 1.